You know, this is a movie you really want to watch and pay attention to because, unlike a nomad, you shouldn't watch this and wander off. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're talking about a brand new release, Nomadland. Let me know in the comments before we begin what your thoughts on this movie were. If you already saw it, if you were excited for it, if you weren't planning on seeing it, let me know so we can discuss. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my channel out there and growing the community. And if you are new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time and let's talk about Nomadland. This stars Frances McDormand as Fern, who, following the economic collapse of a company town in rural Nevada, packs her van and sets off on the road exploring a life outside of conventional society as a modern-day nomad. This is written and directed by Zhao, who's helming the upcoming Eternals from Marvel, and her previous two films were The Writer in 2017 and Songs My Brother Taught Me in 2015. And it's based on the non-fiction book of the same name, chronicling the real-life ventures of actual nomads, people who don't settle down in one location and move from place to place in their vans, taking up temporary residency in nomad communities throughout the country. And we even get actual nomads here in the majority of the supporting roles, all using their real names. Outside of a handful of minor parts, the only professional actors in this film are McDormand as well as David Strathairn, who I had no idea beforehand was in this movie, by the way. And he's here as a fellow nomad who McDormand forms a connection with early on and she runs into throughout the film. So there's a very authentic feel that went into this, and the film feels very documentarian as it follows McDormand around as she travels through each of the communities. It was said that she, Zhao, and most of the crew actually lived out of vans over the course of production, which was during a 4-month span in 2018. And like a number of films released over the course of this past year, this will more than likely resonate a bit more with people due to the circumstances involving the pandemic. It's not necessarily a film about people struggling, and while there are some minor obstacles they have to overcome that goes with being a nomad, Fern and all the other nomads do state how they enjoy this way of life once they get used to it. Now, it's not necessarily a film about people struggling. While there are some minor obstacles they have to overcome that goes with being a nomad, Fern and all the other nomads do state how they enjoy this way of life once they get used to it. But it's what we learn what led to most of them trying it out in the first place, which is how this will resonate with people. The film is set in 2011, only a few years after the Great Recession, another major economic crisis that put a ton of people out of work. And among other reasons we learn throughout the film, we do hear how some of these characters lost their jobs in the recession and now they have to just pick up work wherever they're able to find it, if at all, such as McDormand finding seasonal work at Amazon early on in the film. And as we hear things like this, as well as other issues, like in a moment where McDormand's trying to find her next job and someone at an employment center suggests she goes into early retirement, and McDormand states she can't afford to live off the benefits, that's incredibly heartbreaking. And not only will moments like these allow you to connect with these characters, but it'll especially strike a nerve as, unfortunately, many people are encountering similar situations now. But this film isn't really a conflict-based movie. In fact, the narrative is somewhat loose, as we follow McDormand around, going from community to community, and not every scene is filled with her fighting to just stay afloat. We may just get 20 minutes or so that chronicles a day in the life for her and the rest of the nomads. It's a very quiet, restrained movie, which I know definitely won't be for everyone. I admit, I was even a little hesitant walking into this one. I mean, I did put this on my most anticipated movies of the month list, but I did hear of how this was structured prior to watching it, and even the trailer suggested that this would be a slower experience. And a big criticism you may hear about this is that it can feel boring. And yeah, the only real issue I had with this was that towards the end of the second act, beginning of the third, there were some pacing issues. But that may not be how you feel. I think if you like quieter movies like this to begin with, the pacing won't be a problem for you whatsoever. But if you're someone who's looking for a concrete plot with specific conflict that needs to be overcome, this may not be the movie for you. But all that being said, I surprisingly like this a lot more than I was expecting to. Even though there's less of an actual structure to the film, the scenes of McDormand in these communities is still very engaging. And that's because I thought it was very strong on a thematic level. On one hand, as I mentioned, it will resonate a little more due to its parallels to our present day situation, but on the other hand, it'll also resonate through just hearing what the nomads value through their anecdotes, like how they love the fact it allows them to explore the country, how even if it won't be for a long time, they'll run into some of the same people again down the line and they can trade stories and bond over their experiences and honor one another's lives. And I'm giving a very bare bones description of these moments, but as we hear them fondly reflect on their lives and what they've gained through these experiences, it's just really nice. Even though the film's focused on people who prefer not staying tied down to one location, there's a tenderness that hangs over the entire movie as they affectionately talk about the things they do value. There's especially a really nice moment where one of the nomads notices McDormand's wedding ring, and we find out her husband recently died, and one of the nomads tells her how the wedding ring is circular because it represents never-ending love, and how our love of those we care about is never-ending. It's a very sweet moment, and I think it's one that best represents this film's emotional core. And even though there's something of a simplicity to the film, it still exceeds on a technical level. Chloe Zhao's direction and the cinematography are top notch. The shots of the countryside, as well as the way in which the camera follows McDormand and some of these other characters around, is absolutely beautiful. I think they're both shoo-ins to at least get nominated at the Oscars, if not outright win. I know the film's been pulling in a lot of wins through the award season so far, so I have a feeling that when we do get to the Oscars, this will pick up a few nominations, those included. And McDormand herself gives another excellent performance here. Like the film as a whole, she's very quiet here. She doesn't necessarily go long stretches without dialogue, but we never hear her raise her voice or get too bent out of shape. Though it's definitely not emotionless or distant. She knows how to find the balance of being expressive, but without doing anything that clashes with the film's overall tone. It's a very facial expression and body language heavy performance. If something bothers her or frustrates her, we'll pick up on how she's feeling based on a certain look she gives, and it'll convey so much. Personally, I think she's also a shoe-in for Best Actress here, at least to just get nominated. David Strathairn is also pretty solid here in what's one of his better roles in quite some time, though the real standouts in the supporting cast are the nomads themselves. They were so great that if it wasn't for the fact I'm saying they aren't professional actors, or if you looked up beforehand that that's not the case, you wouldn't realize it. Some of the monologues they give, their passionate delivery, and the way they recount their experiences is absolutely beautiful, and I think it really adds to this film's soul. I really enjoyed this movie. While its quiet, restrained feel won't be for everyone, and admittedly, it does lead to some pacing issues at certain points, this is overall just a beautiful film. Thematically, it's wonderful, recounting the experiences of these workers, their values, and their struggles in what will certainly resonate with people in a strong way due to the parallels of today. And it also boasts some beautiful cinematography, top-notch direction from Chloe Zhao, and some great performances by Frances McDormand, David Strathairn, and all the nomads. It's out in theaters and on Hulu now, so definitely check it out. Nomadland gets an 8 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Nomadland, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like Frances McDormand's performance? Was this one of your favorites of all the big awards contenders? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.